honestly, I find when I work with my clients, the biggest thing I want people to have faith in is themselves.
Yes.
All right. Like, do you really believe in you? Do you really think you're a good person? Do you think you can accomplish hard things?
Well, and I like how you said that. It's not just that. Desperational goals are about the outcome.
Yes.
Right? I need to be happy.
It's so important for us to be able to look at where we are presently and be able to weigh out what do we still want to carry and what is better left behind.
Are you making decisions to feel safe or to feel free?
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Lighter Side of Heavy Things, podcast for two therapists, myself, Chris Clark, along with Dwayne Horton here. Kind of have a chat about some of those lighter sides of the heavier things we tend to deal with in our day-to-day as therapists. Anyways, we decided we're going to kind of end off on that book that we had been reading, the Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Wynn. Kind of the last, I guess we would say, big thoughts that we feel kind of really impact our day-to-day in the stuff that we work with our clients.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just that it's the book, but it's kind of what we use with our clients, right? Things that we want our clients to know.
Right.
Joseph does a great job of articulating.
Yeah, synthesizing all that info.
And synthesizing it. But a lot of it, what we talk about is not just from him. It's just our experiences. And it's just kind of us as a therapist. But I did like the way he talked about inspirational goals versus goals of desperation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because that is a big thing that we tend to do a lot with our clients, right? Helping them understand how to keep goals and work through things.
Well, and goals are often, they're a part of everyday life, right? You talk to a life coach. Hey, set goals, right? You got New Year's. Hey, set goals. You're starting a business. Set goals. What are your goals?
Yeah.
You talk to your boss. Hey, what are your goals for this upcoming year? Mm-hmm. Goals are everything. And the idea that there's different levels of goals is important to recognize. Goals of inspiration tend to be those that we would do naturally, that we'd want to do, right? Yes. They're goals that bring joy into our lives, they're growth. But they're also a little bit more on a faith-based thing, because we don't necessarily know that anything's going to come out of these things.
Right.
We just hope something good will come out of them. Inspirational goals make us happy. Mm-hmm. We do it not because it's, hey, you're going to make millions. We do it because, hey, this just brings joy into my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy doing this, or I want to do that, right? And, to go along with that, if we're looking at the ideas of desperation or the goals that come from desperation, there's a lot of fear, doubt. We make the goal because we're trying to control something or an outcome.
Yes.
Right?
Well, and I like how you said that. It's not just desperational goals are about the outcome.
Yes.
Right? I need to be happy. I need to eat healthier, so I'm skinnier, so therefore I'm happier, right?
Right. Well, and it's not only that, but it would be that idea of if I set a goal to lose X amount of weight, let's say it's 50 pounds by, end of the year, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. We get to the end of the year and we only lost 30. Goals of desperation, you would look at that and you'd be like, I'm a failure.
Right.
I didn't lose 50 pounds. Whereas one of inspiration, you would look at that and you'd be like, wow, I lost weight. I didn't think I could.
Right, because inspiration is about the journey.
Yes.
Desperation is about the end.
Yeah, condition,
right?
Do I check that off or not?
And those are that's honestly one of those things we struggle with daily here with our clients, right? Our clients will be like, I got this goal. You're like, oh, great. What is it? I need to, exercise daily, or if I could only communicate more effectively with my partner, then I'd be happy.
Less anxious.
Then they would meet my needs. Mm-hmm. If they could understand my needs, what are the magic words to help me understand this, right?
Yeah. How do you stop me from being sad or depressed all the time?
Right. And it's a lot of external factors that are feeding the desperational goals. Whereas inspirational goals, it doesn't need a reason, right?
No. Somebody
who makes a model airplanes, they're going to make model airplanes. Not because anybody in the world's going to care or know. It's just because, hey, I enjoy it.
Yep, it's fun.
It's fun. Right? It brings growth or joy into my life.
Yeah. And, I think what's really interesting about this, or the reason why this idea I think is so important, is because when we talk about the idea of making goals, I think it's often misunderstood or not well taught, right? That you hear people, I think about like, oh, you need to make a SMART goal, right? And if I make that goal, I'm going to achieve it. But
like kind of adding to that, like measurable goal.
Yes, right. And the thing is that we're missing the entire, I guess you would say, base philosophy regarding the goal, because this idea of inspiration versus desperation, if we truly make a goal based on inspiration, we're more likely to achieve it, whether or not it's well written out. We have a higher chance because of what's where the seed's planted, basically.
Right, because it's planted in the journey. It's the journey that matters. It's not the end destination. It's learning along the way. Because we're inspired by it, uplifted by it, we're fed by it. It brings its own natural energy into it. Right, like one that I've talked to you about, like personal goal, like I have got to start being healthier, like, and that includes eating healthier.
Yes.
Now, for someone who's like a picky eater, that becomes a little bit more difficult, right?
Yes.
Because you're limited on the amount of foods that you're going to eat. So, like a desperational goal on that idea of me losing weight would be to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, right? Either a 1-0 game on that. Yes, no, you accomplished it, right?
Yes.
But an inspirational goal is, hey, I'm going to find new foods that may be healthier that I can maybe stomach, right? I can start broadening my palate, changing the way my day looks, creating a new routine. Those are all goals of inspiration. Say, maybe I might like it differently if I'm exercising in the evening, or, instead of planning on going for a run, say, hey, kids, let's go get on our bikes or something.
Right.
Right? Make it about an inspirational, something that brings joy.
Yeah.
That you're like, I want to do this again. Not like, oh, I can't wait to the end, the white knuckling effect, which we talk with addictions too, right?
Yes.
This is why it's such a powerful idea of knowing how to set good goals. And understanding and recognizing the difference between them.
Right. Like you mentioned with the exercise or things of that nature, the idea of fitness, where if we get focused too much on one particular measurable thing, we lose sight of everything else.
Yes.
Right? Like, perhaps it's, we want to feel that we are physically much or feel better about ourselves, where I'm able to go out and I'm able to play with my kids and not be winded or not feel like I'm, dragging by the end of the day. Be able to have some of that extra energy. But again, that comes to inspiration, desperation. What are we really focusing on, right?
And to me, I love the analogy, and we're totally stealing this from Joseph Wynn, the idea of the river and a dam.
Yeah.
If we equate our river to a goal, right? Now, like rivers, if you know rivers, rivers tend to meander, right? They don't take the same course.
No.
And, depending on the slope and the terrain that is crossing over, is going to change the rapids to smooth, to how wide, how narrow, how cold, how warm. All those things, right, are affected by the terrain that you have to go through. Well, that's like anytime we set out on a new journey of growth, we're going to be crossing new terrain.
Yes. Right?
And what's interesting about a river, though, is that over time, because of erosion, the actual course and path of a river changes because it's the erosion effect. Right. And so you might have traveled it once, but now you come back through it, the river's different.
Yep.
I know here in Utah, we spend literally millions and millions of dollars maintaining big rivers to prevent that, so we don't lose cities.
Right.
Right. But that is the whole idea. And the whole way along the way, that water, that river, that goal of inspiration is creating a beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it's a little terrifying, and you're like, yeah, right. But
get me off.
Yes. What do? I don't like this anymore.
Yep.
And other times, like we said, it's just peaceful, calm, like a river cruise, right?
Yes.
But then sometimes, as a necessity, we create dams, right? And dams stop the flow of that water, and it blocks it. Well, if we have a dam in our goal, that's going to block our inspiration goal, that's what we call thinking.
Yeah.
Right. We equate that to thinking. We overthink things, and like you said, the thoughts of desperation, or desperational thoughts, such as doubt or fear. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. That's going to try to impede that journey.
Yeah. Or the idea of control, right? Oh, I don't like where this river's headed. I got to turn it a different way. Right. But as you mentioned, that the dam ends up blocking the flow of inspiration, or blocks us from continuing perhaps forward in the way that we need to. It brings up that, this idea. There was a quote from Steve Jobs, that idea of, you have to have that courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you want to become, right? Everything else is secondary. That idea that you already know, or you're going to be fine, just following, flowing, going along, it will be okay. Because I think sometimes there's people, when they hear this, they get worried, because they're like, well, if you're just letting things happen or watching what happens, how do you control the outcome? You need to, again, we're getting to the desperation. We get focused on a condition to know that things are okay.
Right. The what ifs come in. What if this happens? What if bad happens?
Right.
We're only focused on the outcome, not the journey.
Right. And, an easy example, I guess, that we experience today when it comes to the river and dam principle, we were kind of talking about the ideas that we wanted to discuss or talk about today. Prior to that, though, we had another discussion. And anyways, as we were talking about this, you stopped me and you're like, hey, let's go back to this other thing. We need to figure this out real quick, because I can't focus on what's going on, right? You had that proverbial dam in the blocking where we needed to go with this, because you were thinking about something else. But once we took care of that, right?
No, I love that. I think that's a great example. What it was, so people can understand the context of it, was last night I was tired. I called you late, which is probably inappropriate of me, but I did. And I'm talking work with you late while trying to work. And you were processing something in your mind that I had already processed. And so I was like 2 steps ahead of you, but I kept interrupting you. And you're like, and then you kind of worried, wait, is Dwayne thinking I'm upset by this? And I was thinking, it's over. And then when you brought it brought up my own past, right? That's what was kind of the dam, was, stuff from my past, where me just being me, like, I'm just blunt. I say things what I say, and then I move on. Like the brothers, right? You know this. Like you deck it out. Once the bleeding stops, you hug it out and you go play like never happened again, right? Right. I was already to that stage, but my mind kept processing that. Wait, he brought up that maybe he was worried I was angry. Wait, maybe he thought it was hurt, and I need to fix that. And that was the dam.
Yeah.
That was the dam that was kind of blocking all my thoughts. Because it kept coming back up. I kept pushing it down. No, it's just let it go. No, just let it go. But it was that stuff from my own past.
Right.
So I was like, well, either I'm going to fight this forever, this doubt, or let's just deal with it and move on. And we did. Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that it wasn't even anything big.
Yeah, right? I know, right?
It took us literally 5 seconds of you just saying, hey, is that like, are you still feeling this? Or is this what you're feeling? And I'm like, no, I'm good. You good? Yeah. Okay. And that was it. Right.
And we were beyond the dam.
Yeah. And we were able to finish pretty quickly, kind of putting down the rest of everything. But it wasn't until we removed that dam that we were able to keep on working or going through in a pretty quick manner.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and kind of, I want to, if it's okay, I step back on this idea that quote that you said, Steve Jobs, because I love it. But he links in another clue in how to make a good goal. It's following intuition.
Yes.
That was a key word in there. To me, if you're going to make a goal of inspiration, you got to have faith.
Yes.
I know in a world where people want to say we're above God, beyond God, or a higher power, I don't care. It's not necessarily trying to preach here, but there's something about faith. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like that Napoleon Hill, my hero, his quote that there are no limitations to the mind except the ones that we place there.
Yes.
Right? Faith has such ability to expand it. I mean, look at the crazy people that have created in our world filled with doubt because of their faith. Mm-hmm. Right? Thomas Edison made a light bulb. Isaac Asimov, created the whole idea of, all sci-fi stuff long before there was sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have, people like J.R. Tolkien, who created a sci-fi world, a fantasy world where people still love. Mm-hmm. Right? It is the idea that faith somehow limits our mind, but in reality, faith is the cure to doubt.
Yeah.
To fear. It's the antidote to that. And so if we're going to make an inspirational goal, I often talk with my clients, hey, tell me about your faith.
Yeah.
What do you believe in? What do you hope? What motivates you?
Right. And what I think is really interesting when you bring in that idea of faith is that I find, some people look at that as a religious thing, and maybe there is some, but honestly, I find when I work with my clients, the biggest thing I want people to have faith in is themselves.
Yes.
All right. Like, do you really believe in you? Do you really think you're a good person? Do you think you can accomplish hard things? And the thing is once they're able to have that faith in themselves, it's amazing to see what ends up happening. Mm-hmm. But their ability to not have faith is what, limits their potential.
Yes. And growth, right? The biggest, what's that poet? The saddest words of tongue and pen are these, it might have been.
Yes.
Right?
Who said that?
Okay. Who knows? But yeah.
Drop a comment if you know.
Yes, please do. And if I misquoted it, please forgive me. But the idea that the lived regret, that's what dams create. Mm-hmm. That's what doubt does. That's why I try not to make desperational goals in my life.
Yeah.
Desperation shuts down creativity. Faith builds it. You can see opportunities all around us. And we talk about this in business building, right? You and I were in several ventures together, right?
Yeah.
With our laser tag company that we're doing. Last semester, I had the privilege of working with the FBLA here local, right? And we wanted to set up a little tournament and we just hit barrier after barrier. Like things were just pounding us, mm-hmm. right? On that little startup that we're doing. And Sarah and I got to go and talk to them every week or every other week, excuse me. And I remember at the end, they're like, well, we didn't quite accomplish our goal. I said, what do you mean? We're like, well, plan A didn't work. Plan B didn't work. I said, welcome to business. Yeah. And it's because I had navigated these rapids before, right? I'm okay with it, but they were new to it.
Yep.
And that's where, the idea of like faith in themselves and having other people along with them that have faith in them, mm-hmm. that can help shore up that faith, really strengthens their ability to navigate those rapids, because that's going to meander. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it might be slow, but sometimes you're going to get white water, white knuckling, hold on for dear life, and know that your inspirational goals know where they're going.
Yeah. Well,
trust that.
Yeah. And what I think is really interesting as you bring up the idea that they were struggling with is kind of that idea that the only constant thing in life is change. Mm-hmm. Right. And being comfortable with that definitely shows, are you more in the inspiration or desperation side of things? I mean, you think about, we have the Winter Olympics going on right now. Mm-hmm. You have, what's her name? Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah. That was crazy crash.
Yeah. Well,
did you see that?
I did.
Whoa,
but what I think's crazy is like, you think about her attitude prior, to her competing. She had that torn ACL, and she was trying to recover from that. And when she finally gets to that point of being able to compete, she has this terrible crash.
Yes.
Right? Now, we still have time to see how things are playing out, but based on what we've seen from her or people like her in the past, she definitely, I would say, probably falls more in that inspiration versus desperation. Just because this terrible thing happened, it doesn't mean my career's over, I'm never going to ski again, or whatever it might be, right? She's going to use that as a point of like, well, what can I learn? What can I grow? What can I do now? Right?
And she never lives with regret, though. And that's the awesome part. Sure, she's got pain, and it might cause a little while, but pain, you're going to have pain no matter what. I'm finding that out as I age. But, there's one more concept I think is really important in understanding when we hit dams or whitewater, or, struggles in our life, is that it's how we interpret it. Like you put the William Shakespeare idea there's nothing either good or bad. Thinking makes it so.
Right.
How we interpret it is. Our sadness isn't good or bad. It's sad. Our happiness is neither good nor bad. It's happy.
Right. And go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, and this is a concept that I feel for people you need to unlearn.
Yes.
Right? Because this gets pounded in people for the majority of their lives, right? This is good. This is bad. And we start equating how I feel is good, is bad, or what are the feelings I'm feeling mean about me as a person.
Right. And to me, though, that concept sustains desperation.
Yep.
It sustains all goals, right? Losing 50 pounds. You're going to try and look me in the eye and say, oh, this is a cakewalk. It's like, doing your favorite thing, baking, or, me working. I love creating.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, heck no. You're going to have to do weights. You're going to have to do like cardio. You're going to have to cut back. You're going to have to watch what you eat. You can't eat whatever you want.
No.
Right?
Would be nice.
There's exactly. My stupid brother can, but I can't. There's going to be rapids of uncomfort. Uncomfort. Yeah, I've been in Nephi way too long. Discomfort.
Discomfort. Not comfortable.
Uncomfortable. This is not nice. You're going to hear me whine and cry, say, this sucks, right? But it's the learning to enjoy the suck too, right?
And, it brings in, this is a quote from Joseph Wynn in his book, where he says, an intelligent person is always learning, but a wise one is always unlearning.
Right.
Right? It's so important for us to be able to look at where we are presently and be able to weigh out what do we still want to carry and what is better left behind.
Right. And it kind of goes back to the paradigm of we fear change. Because we want change because our life currently sucks or is uncomfortable in some way, right? So it's interesting that we fear the change when in reality we should fear staying the same. It's the idea of unlearning.
Yes. Yes. And if we're able to do that, there is so much freedom that comes from that, right? Because then we end up feeling that there is nothing that can hold us back. There is nothing that we can't overcome. And that we end up seeing those setbacks or we might have believed in the past were failures as just simple learning experiences or opportunities for growth to become better.
Right. And that's why to me, I love the idea of if we want to change, we just look at our lives and now say, okay, this moment might be terrible, but is it worth it? Is it worth going through my inspiration, my intuition, my faith? It says yes. So I'm going to hold on to that and listen to that voice and take me through these whitewater rapids.
Yeah.
And trust that they will take me out to someplace better. And the more you do that, the more confident and you feel in doing that, in your intuition. And you listen to that intuition and recognize, yes, this might be uncomfortable, but something about life says this is necessary. And to me, I think this is a good place to leave on, is that idea that Joseph Wynn left. And this is one that is one that has inspired my goals a little bit, is that are you making decisions to feel safe or to feel free? To me, that question cut me. And it's like, you know what? It is safe to say, well, I can't do this right now. I can't go get up early or go to bed early because I got this project to be done. I got this video to do. I've got this website we're building. I've got, I want to be with my kids. I got to do this and that.
Yep.
I'm making decisions to feel safe. But if I want to feel free, I'm going to have to do a little bit different and incorporate my world into that new decision.
And it might be uncomfortable for a while.
Yeah.
But I think
so
that...
if I'm grumpy, you know why. My blood sugar's dropping.
Go eat a donut, right?
You're going to tell you that's not your temptation. Test my self-discipline. I'm going to come in one day. There's going to be like a little donut hanging on my stand.
That's right.
No, you can't put a donut. I hate donuts.
Oh, okay.
What's a good one?
Something...
Snickers.
Snickers? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Good Snickers.
Cinnamon rolls.
Oh, dude. Oh, man.
Yeah, we found it. So, but I do think that is such an important idea or concept to leave, and we hope that you guys think about that in the decisions in your life. Are you making them to feel safe, or are you wanting to feel free? And, I would venture to guess that probably the better ones you have made in life have probably been more freeing.
Absolutely.
And the ones that have limited you are probably because you were just scared, wanting to feel safe, right? Letting fear rule your life.
Right.
So anyways, we hope that you guys enjoyed talking with us again or listening to us jabber. Feel free to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, here on YouTube. Dwayne has his shorts that he puts up, a couple of times a week. We're still getting the after hours content, getting ready to launch.
See, it's one of those reasons I don't exercise. That I can't accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
Because then what else am I going to do?
But time to focus on the growth.
I got to find a new goal. Oh, crap. All right. I'll try and get it up by this weekend.
Yeah. So we appreciate everyone sticking with us, and we hope that you'll tune in next week for another episode of The Lighter Side of Heavy Things. We'll see you guys later.